Did you ever think you wasted my time? For the rest of my days, I'll keep you in mind.
We are in the first point of this men's division game. CUSB Red Bulls versus Freespeed. Myself, Tom Stiles, alongside Ravi, Vasu, Dave, and Freespeed in the red, Red Bulls in the white. I know it's confusing. We'll be as confused as anybody, but that's the way it is right here. And Ravi, these two teams, tell us about the tournament they've had so far.
So far, they've both lost to Clapham and they've both beat. I'll try to find later on who the Moira, I believe, is the fourth team in their pool. So this is the game for second place, the last game of pool play. These two teams. Second place guarantees you a spot in the bracket. Third place depends on your seeding and how things go in some other ways. So they kind of have a lot to play for right here. And I know Freespeed had a very good game against Clapham. They went 12-12. They were up a break in the first half. 12-12, then Clapham won 15-12. So they're really happy about that performance. Red Bulls, I think, lost 15-9. But yeah, these are two teams that faced each other in regionals. Freespeed won by 2 in that one, so they're in for a hot replay here.
And hope you're enjoying the coverage wherever you are. If you've got a link you can share, do so. Tell people about the ultimate coverage that's available here on Fancy and also on YouTube as well. That disc just drifts downfield into the hands of DeLuca. DeLuca sends the deep disc. It's going to be drifting out of bounds, tries to flip it over and back into field, but it was always gone. Nothing that Paolo Martini could do, as the disc was already out of bounds.
Both teams exchanging turnovers here. Freespeed's O-line will get another chance for a hold. Freespeed, national champions this year, always playing against their rivals, the Flying Angels Bern, in the Swiss Championships. Managing to take that one.
Walking it up the line. Nicolas Miglioretto. Miglioretto. Clever play, just throws into the space. Face marking, defender doesn't see it, and it's the turnover to Red Bulls. Hots just throwing it away. Down the line, a little bit too far ahead. Lorenzo Palm couldn't bid. High release, floaty disc. Red Bulls, Freespeed sending it downfield, trying to read it. And is there going to be any call on that, Ravi?
No, there's not. David Moser there. Bit disappointed. We see the old generation versus the new. Moser, I think 41 years old, against DeLuca, who is one of the star players in the Italian U24 team. So two different stages here. The youth getting the better of this first matchup. Really close, though. Really close.
It looked like Moser had got a good hand to that disc, but there's no doubt that the defender had got there first with a big, powerful Mac away. DeLuca resets, gets it disc back on the edge of the end zone, looking downfield for options, going to have to reset back, and does so. Flick forward. Albertini gets it forward to Palm. Palm really cranks the arm, but it's drifting towards the far sideline. Is it going to go out of bounds? Oh no, high grab, just keeps the back foot down. Incredible work from Lovisa. Reset. What a bit of footwork that was, Ravi. And a throwaway from Red Bulls. Freespeed trying to get started straight away. There's pressure underneath this disc. It's just drifting away from the defender. Brought down in the end zone by Kasper Müller for Freespeed. An opening hold, but a really shaky start from both these teams.
Yeah, not the greatest start from either side. Eventually, Luca Miglioretto shooting it deep. Go back to what works if things aren't working out for both teams. You saw that big grab there by Mike Lovisa from the Red Bulls. He's actually a player from Connecticut, has been traveling around Europe. I've seen him volunteering at many tournaments throughout this season and managed to find a way to pick up with the Red Bulls here for this tournament. Finally there, Kasper Müller reeling in the goal, another Swiss national team player. That Luca-Kasper connection is one that we'll probably see time and time again throughout this game.
So 2 turnovers apiece in this opening point, and both teams will want to tidy that up.
We see the big Belgian ready to pull, Pieter-Jan de Molenaar, who's been riddled with injuries for the past few years. I mean, he played the World Ultimate Club Championships with Freespeed. Last year here we see that great grab by Levisa. But he told me now he's healthy, he's feeling good, and he's playing D-line here for Freespeed. Usually he plays O. See what he can do here. That's number 23.
Yeah, we'll refer to him as PJ, generally. With the disc now for Red Bulls, Quentin Roger. More familiar to see him wearing a French shirt. A run-through block there from PJ. And Freespeed have got it back. Sends the spiraling hammer. It's going to curve back away, but PJ de Molenaar brings it down with the double happiness. And is there a call on the play here?
There's no call on the play. I think he grabbed his leg a bit gingerly. I'm very confused as to what's going on. A lot of people are stopping. Pick was called. So I don't know how the pick might have affected play here.
Look at the defense here. Target was the disc back to Quentin Roger, but it was picked off. An injury sub.
So maybe there was an injury before the reception. PJ's also coming off. I was just talking about how he was back and healthy, but I saw him grab his leg after that catch. And he does not look very happy coming on the sideline here.
Yes, there was a substantial kick of Paul Bottle on the sideline, getting the disappointment more than anything. That might have picked up a little twinge there. Schneider gets the disc back to Huber. Bush. Downfield, big pressure, but it's eventually caught in the end zone. Freespeed bringing it down.
Olivier Gauglet, another very frequently used target for Freespeed in the deep space. So they convert on a break. PJ comes in, gets the D. It seemed like he was going to get the double happiness, but instead he comes off the field. But Freespeed still convert. So 2-0, Freespeed looking to take an early lead.
Huber with the assist. And what's who was the scorer there?
That's Olivier Gaugler.
60.
Number 60, yes. So these two teams did match up, as I said before. It was a 2-point victory for Freespeed back at the EUCR South, which propelled Freespeed into the second place in their pool, which gave them a shot at getting third and fourth. So Red Bulls were 5th in the South, Freespeed were 3rd in the South.
And Red Bull's one of the teams out of the Bologna Ultimate scene, which is, there's just been a massive factor in European Ultimate for the last few years. We'll talk a little bit more about Bologna and what's going on down there. 3 of the top teams in the men's and women's division coming out of the same city. Pick called. Red Bulls with it in white. Freespeed in the red shirts. Straight away, downfield they look, downfield they send it. High grab and popping it down on the floor.
That's Leonardo Marsigli with the catch. And CUSB Red Bulls finally managed to get themselves a point on the board.
Marsigli streaking deep.
And that's what Red Bulls need to do here. They have to play aggressively and show their youthful exuberance on the field. Previous point Yeah, it was just a run through D by PJ, and by the looks of things, he might not be going back out on the field.
For Mariello was the assist on that previous point. So you tell us a little bit more about the Bologna scene. CUSB is the club name, and they have Red Bulls, they have La Fotta, and they also in the women's division have Shout. But what's going on in Bologna to make this happen?
CUSB is actually the name of the sports university in Bologna. So all of the teams are attached to that university in some way. And the Red Bulls are kind of the youth team. A lot of under 20, under 24 players come together there. Then after they graduate or La Fotta decides to take them, they can play for La Fotta or 051, which is actually another team that's a little less serious but still quite good. And they just have a huge scene. There's a big D by Red Bulls.
Yeah, big grab of that floaty reset from Freespeed, punished. Fast reactions as Gatti takes it now. He has Della Vedova available on the reset.
So it was, I think, 2 or 3 years ago that Red Bulls actually won Italian nationals over La Fotta. They have a lot of talent on this youth squad.
I imagine they enjoyed that game.
I think they were having a good time.
Coming in on the mark, Miglioretto. Della Vedova with the disc. Looking for a disc around to Strumbad, doesn't get it, and it's picked off by Müller. Advancing to Luca Miglioretto. Looks deep. What can they find? The Swiss finds the Miglioretto partnership. And eventually Moser down into the end zone. Moser shoots it. Picked off nicely by Dennis Hotz, who celebrates just tossing it to one side. 3-1 start from the Swiss has been strong so far.
Dennis Hotz, one of those shorter players, but still really, really quick and really, really good with the disc. Shows if you take your eyes off him for a second, he can strike deep. With that high disc coming to him, you always worry a little bit at this level that maybe a bigger player might come and make something of it, but he reels it in nicely. He's been playing for Freespeed for a long time. I've also seen him, I think last year I played against him when I was playing Swiss mixed nationals with the Zurich team, so I'm not sure exactly. I've seen him play for Crazy Dogs, I've seen him play for Zurich, but usually at the international level he's playing for Freespeed.
He's part of the Swiss national teams. We may see him in the Netherlands next year.
Yeah, a lot of these Freespeed players are on that team.
Huber with the pull. Already had one assist in this game. Pulling for the D-line, and it's a good pull. Racing the disc down there, middle of the end zone. And Freespeed set up a zone here. One chase in the form of Odermatt. CUSB moving the disc across the field quickly, making that cup move, swinging it back again. This is better. Advancing the disc, but they had to be there quickly. Taking away those wing shots. Ravi?
Freespeed doing a good job of punishing crashes. So whenever there's a crash, they close in and put a lot of pressure on that disc. So far doing great, forcing CUSB to throw a lot of passes. They've thrown, what, maybe 10 passes or so, and they're just getting past their brick mark now.
They look comfortable doing it, though. The Freespeed will be getting tired at this point. You see the handlers aren't having to work as hard. That's how you have to beat a zone like this. You take what they give you, you keep them running, and eventually the holes start to open up, the fatigue starts to set in, the gaps start to arrive. You have to be patient. Freespeed are going to be well drilled, but they've got their way through now. Red Bulls nearly in the end zone now, smashing it forward. Freespeed have changed to a one-on-one defense. We're getting it in the front corner. Great patience by the Red Bulls. Scoring against that zone and taking a lot of passes and doing it.
Took a lot of passes at the beginning, but I like, one thing I always love about Bologna is that when they have their opportunity, they attack. So I was streaming a game before, a team was playing zone, they would punch through the cup, and then they would kind of just give it back to the handlers. But here you see with CUSB all of them are good with the disc, all of them are confident, so once they get past, they're just giving and going and dinking and dunking and attacking into that space where they know that they have a mismatch in terms of numbers of players down there, and they're so good with that quick movement that it's so hard to stop. Then you saw Freespeed try to shift into that person-to-person defense, but never could quite get in the right position to put a good force on. It was an easy score after that.
Yeah, it is. They're a great team, very entertaining to watch. They really do like to go forward, always looking to attack. Do you think, obviously you've seen players graduate from Red Bulls, do you think that exuberance that they seem to manifest in this team, is that just down to the youth, or do you think there's actually sort of something culturally different about Red Bulls?
Well, I think the youth helps. It's, you know, a bunch of young guys that are fighting really hard and like to play. They played well at Tom's tourney, but when you see La Fota in the next level, they're just as fiery, really.
Just as fiery.
So.
Freespeed with the disc now. Elbergear gets it across to Miglioretto. Down the far side, Luca Miglioretto gets it down. Moser sends it into the end zone. Oh, what a take that is from the Red Bulls, keeping the disc away from the Freespeed receiver. Moser's disc was dropped on a dime in the middle of the end zone, and calling it back now, Casper Müller just calling the violation as CUSB Red Bulls. Riccardo Albertini setting off a little bit too quick from that turnover. I'm not exactly sure what the conversation is here, but the situation you'd find yourself in there is if he's caught it in the end zone, he can either immediately throw or he can walk it to the front of the end zone line. And perhaps he's done a combination of the two and thrown in an inappropriate spot. It's been called back by Freespeed. Them's the rules. Sends the big disc downfield. Albertini underneath it, chasing it down. Going to be some pressure from Müller, but shoulder to shoulder, both players arriving, and it's CUSB Red Bulls that come down with it. A break to them, taking the disc off Freespeed after Moses' throw was intercepted, and it's 3 each. Brilliant game so far, Avi.
And look at the energy and excitement after getting a break that this team has. They are so fun to watch, like you said, so fiery, so excited to play. And, you know, this is a team that they played, there you see the great grab, so athletic as well. This team, they played Freespeed to 2 points, and I expected, looking at the rosters, that Red Bulls would actually have the edge here, because the people they've picked up, Quentin Roger, you've got Mike Lovisa, this really tall American target. The pieces they've added I thought would be enough to make a 2-point difference. I saw Quentin Roger playing with Chalk at EUCR. And, you know, once once Chalk didn't qualify, he was already going up to Davide and Stefan Reckett to see if he could get a spot on La Fota. They said, no, we don't have room for you, but we'll find you a spot with the Red Bulls, and he was happy to do that. So he was playing so well there. He's played so well with the Montreal Royale this year in the AUDL. And I thought that would give them the edge. And, you know, Freespeed went up a break, put Red Bulls right back into it, and Red Bulls have the energy difference, you know. And I think that might propel them throughout the rest of this game.
Yeah, they're a team right on the verge, and they're one of those sort of high variance teams, Ravi. You think on their day, if they play their A game is really a stellar level. They just don't achieve it that often.
They have. I mean, last year they made the EUCF. This is their second time at the EUCF. So they made the EUCF last year, got 10th place. It's a respectable finish. It's not, maybe they're looking to be a top 8 team. I think they've won Tom's Tourney's second division. They've done okay in the first division. They've won Italian Nationals once or twice, but this year at Italian Nationals, talk about that high variance, they actually came 4th because La Fota brought split squads. They came 1st and 2nd. Then they lost to the Costa Rica Grandes in the game for 3rd place, who are also here at this tournament. So a lot of Italian Ultimate. Rimini is actually a country that's also working, also a city, sorry, that's also working on their youth in a big way. A lot of the Italian U20 players come from that city instead of Bologna now.
Oh, wow.
So that team also fiery, also young. So a lot of good youth Italian talent here at this tournament spread among 3 different teams on the men's division.
Yeah, the Italian youth ultimate scene, one to watch. It has been one to watch for the last sort of 5 years. Those players came through the ranks.
And of course, everyone saw this year that Germany and GB in the men's European Ultimate Championships were a step above the rest. But Italy was, close-ish, and a lot of the U24 players didn't play on the men's team. So everyone's curious, if they do come together next year with a real national team for the Netherlands, are they going to be at that level of Germany or GB, or are they a little step off? We'll have to see.
I wouldn't put it past them, would you?
I think they have it. I mean, that U24 men's team actually beat the GB men's team at Bologna Invite in April this year. So just them were able to do it. So if they come with some of their older talent as well, this Italy team could be pretty good next year.
I don't think it's... Davide really struggled to hide his disappointment at the U24 tournament with some of the Italian performances. I think he really thought this was their year, and they just never put the game together that they needed to at the big moments when it mattered. And that was a shame, because he knows that ability's there. They had such a good success in Perth, which was only 18 months before the championship in Heidelberg. And it was almost exactly the same team, only 5 changes between those two teams. He was visibly seething like a volcano about to erupt. Flows of lava were taking out passers-by. It was interesting.
So here back in this game, a lot of long stoppages here so far, which gives us a lot of time to talk about Bologna, which is great, but something that I think the two teams need to work on a little bit to get these calls sorted. We'd like to see more action, and here we're going to see something.
Miglioretto sets off deep, normally the provider, this time the target, but he's chased down and then beaten in the air. Great jump and aerial work.
It's Lorenzo Panzavolta with the D. So Red Bulls, after being down a break early, now have a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, Panzavolta, he'd taken off and got the disc down before Nico had even thought about jumping for it. Quick movement down to De Luca. Red Bulls. And the disc just a little wayward, reaching the hand back. Couldn't get it. Miglioretto resets now to the other Miglioretto, Luca to Nico. Beautiful disc, angles across the sky, just a little bit too far ahead of the receiver. And couldn't quite collect it. The Miglioretto connection fails. Another chance for CUSB Red Bulls to come back.
See both brothers frustrated at each other there.
The cut was good enough, wasn't it? The cut was into the right spot, bit of space out there, but that disc had real fire on it.
It's a real Japanese-looking shot, the kind of diagonal cross-field blade shot that's the Japanese love to use a lot.
They never hang around in the air for long, those discs, do they? They have to be on the point or they're in the turf. De Luca. Oh, and the Red Bulls just making basic handling errors here. One throw behind, one drop as it drifted through the hands, and a timeout called. Both teams needing a moment to catch their breath. 22 minutes into this one, and it's 3 each, Ravi.
It's 2 turnovers by Marco Della Vedova. He had the throwaway in the previous possession, and here just a stone-cold drop in his hands. You see he's visibly frustrated. He's going to have to clean that up. D-line player, fiery player, but not doing it for the CUSB Red Bulls offense at the moment.
And the Freespeed team, I think they're without doubt a more senior line, but do they have a youth scene coming up through the ranks in Switzerland to match the likes of the Italians?
No, they're not quite at that level. They have some decent teams. Their U24 men's team this year, I think, was solid. Not at the level of the Italian U24 team, but they're working on it. And I know that, like, if you look at Flying Angels Bern, they're one of the Freespeed's rivals. They for the earlier part of this decade, I think, really were aging out and not working on their youth at all. And now they've managed to kind of introduce, you can see now they kind of lost half a generation. So they have a lot of players over 40 and a lot of players like in the low 20s and like kind of that 25 to 35. There's not as many in that range right now. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you can see that team, for a while they were just focused on themselves, not working as much on the youth, and now they've shifted that a bunch. And I think Freespeed was earlier this decade more focused on their youth and more focused on bringing things up. Yeah, I think shifting around, again, not as good as the Italians, but Swiss have some good players coming up too.
Disc is back in here after that timeout. Myself, Tom Stiles, alongside our knowledge base of European Ultimate, Ravi Vasudevan. You check out his Eurozone podcast if you can, alongside Liam Grant, one of our other international commentary crew. Miglioretto to Moser. Moser down the line, forward to Bush. Bush continues the cut. Moser finds the disc floating in the end zone ahead of him, and it's a nice looking point for Freespeed.
David Moser is so impressive that he can still play a cutting role at this high of an age. I mean, you see players like Hans Tiro on the high Ds, some other players that maybe Lorenz Stoffer on Flying Angels Burn that still play a handler role at that age. But Moser plays a cutting role and sometimes a cutting defender role even. I mean, I saw him not 2 years ago. I think he had just turned 40, was about to turn 40, and he was guarding Ashley Yo from Clapham, taking that matchup and getting a D on him in the final of Windmill. So still doing it. Not sure exactly how he does it.
No, I don't know. He maybe eats steak for dinner every night. But look at the wiry frame he's carrying around. No excess weight on the man at all. He's even shed a little bit of the hair to keep his aerodynamic.
You think that's why he did that?
No, I don't think that's did that. But yeah, he looks like an athlete now, and his acceleration and his aggression on field as well. That's sometimes something that players struggle with as they get older, is just having that fire and that will to win. But that is there in spades for Moser.
Red Bulls will be frustrated with that last point. Had 2 chances, but couldn't convert.
Movement now. Roger. On the far side of the field. Pass to Fumariello and Brunelli. Keeping the disc moving, but not making very much forward progress at the moment here, Red Bulls. Now it's in the hands of Felici. And a big wave of the hand signals a pick call.
Felici being marked there by Jonas de Vela, a Freespeed player. So Freespeed, there's a Freespeed connection sometimes. Peter Jan de Molenaar plays with them, Jonas de Vela plays with them. There's actually also Harry Strobant, number 96, who's a Freespeed player playing on Red Bull. So 3 Bs on the field here.
3 Bs. And a turnover. Red Bulls putting the disc down. And picking up for Freespeed is Huber. Disc forward to Ferreira. Imhoff. Inside flick. What a beautiful disc, but taken out of the sky by Girotto. And a quick movement from Red Bulls. Great heads-up defense. That inside flick looked like it was on a dime, but just too close to the defense. Nice low release around break and a scuba to this open side. Quentin Roger spiraling through the sky. It's an easy pass to an exposed player. Much, much better from the Red Bulls.
That's Nicolo Brunelli with the catch, and Quentin Roger doing better there. He was the European Youth Player of the Year back in 2017, I think. Player that's gone and played for the Montreal Royale past season. He's actually going back to Montreal in November. He's going to play with them again next year. Here we're going to see that lovely bit of defense.
It was a beautiful flick as well. Was it Odermatt who put that flick up?
David Odermatt, one of the younger players in the Swiss region, so talking a bit about that youth coming up.
And sometimes when you see throws, look at the body position there, thrusting the hips forward and then using that leverage and the core strength to fire the hammer into the end zone. Brunelli, so free. Great timing of the cuts. These two teams, difficult to separate at the moment, Ravi.
Really quick right now, Moira is up 5-4 on Clapham, the other 2 teams in this pool.
Moira up 5-4 on Clapham.
Yes.
That's.
But I do believe Clapham have won the pool even if they lose the game.
Oh.
So I don't know if that has a role to play or not.
They still would want to win that game. They're very proud boys. Freespeed and Red Bulls. Middle of the field now, Hots. Flow to Nico Miglioretto. Gets back to Luca Miglioretto, and the Miglioretto combination continues. Then down the line to Bush. Nico Miglioretto. Hots comes out of the stack. Explosive cut. Really intelligent the way he adjusts that run to keep the defender at bay. Always making sure he's available and the handler can put the disc where the defender can't get it. Low release from Müller. Into the end zone, and Moser's there again, having a great game there. 77 shirt David Moser for Freespeed takes that clean offensive point.
He is all over the place on the cutting space for Freespeed today. The young Red Bulls can't handle the older crafty Moser.
And Müller to Moser. The combination that pays on this occasion. Look at that low release. Sorry, no, it was Bush that eventually made himself available down the line. Müller found that low release pass and good continuation. So hard to stop a team like Freespeed when they get into their flow, when the defense can never arrive and never set up and never slow the disc down. If they can keep that moving, if the cuts are always timed well, then how do you prevent a team like that moving so fluently?
Something Freespeed have done for a long time, and this is a very established offensive line. Freespeed's always had a very good O-line, and their top players have been at European class level. But it's sometimes their depth that doesn't quite get them there. But here I think their defense has improved a lot over the years. And we'll see right now they are giving Red Bulls a bit of trouble.
For Mariello. Gets it back to Brunelli. Brunelli, low release, jams it forward, quick flick off. Gets to Casarini. On the sideline, and a little crafty throw to the break side. Was that a lefty?
Quentin Roger is completely ambidextrous, actually. He can really huck full field with both hands. He can do whatever he wants from both hands. He oftentimes, he's been known to sometimes stand with just both feet planted and not really decide which pivot foot to take, and then he can go either way. I don't know if it's really hard on the rules what that's exactly allowed or not, because you're supposed to set a pivot immediately, but if you haven't actually changed your leg yet, where is your pivot actually set? If it's set in his brain but not what you can see, it's something a tool you can only use if you're completely ambidextrous like he is. So lefty, righty, he'll do it every way.
As Brunelli getting the disc down the field. Then lands Carasini. Which is he going to throw? You see, yeah, exactly right. That's a clever throw. Even for a righty, that would, with a normal hand, that's a little bit of pressure underneath the disc to lift it over, but not too much, letting it come down. It was flat. There was no wobble on it. Intelligent play. Red Bulls locked together with Freespeed here, 5 apiece. Who was the scorer there?
I'm not sure. I was so impressed by the Roger throw that I didn't really look at who it was going to.
Moser looks deep, nothing going on there. Has to come back underneath. Fast acceleration from Menzinger. Spreads the play, looks for the reset back. Elminger. Hots was available. Uses the option forward. Hots, again, such intelligent cutting from the 91 shirt. Gets it across to Moser. Cuts an unusual figure. Hots with his shorts and his gloves, but so effective in that handler cutter roll. Big bid comes flying across the end zone to take the disc away and deny Müller the point.
Lorenzo Panzavolta with another big defensive play. He is the MVP on defense right now for this CUSB Red Bulls team, making huge plays like that. And now Red Bulls with another chance to take the lead. We'll see if they can capitalize this time.
Panzervolta vaulting high into the Italian sky. We're about an hour down the road from Venice here in Carole. And the home side in many ways, Red Bulls here. De Luca sends the disc downfield, big pressure under here from Freespeed. Who's read it better? Tell you who's read it better, it's Menzinger. David Menzinger, then an immediate throwaway. I'm not sure if the intended target was Nicholas Bush, but Bush knew nothing about it. The two of them exchange a word or two, and an injury call now. Roger comes on.
It's good when you're on offense and you can put Roger on. That'll be helpful, because especially with this small space left for them to score with, he'll be able to put the disc wherever he wants.
Who was the player? It's Mike Lovisa has gone off and getting the attention of the medics on the sideline.
Hope he's okay.
Down the line he shoots, down the line he scores. Fast running Paolo Martini, and that is a break to the Red Bulls.
Alessandro De Luca so dangerous with the disc in his hands as he puts that one in for the score. He was really one of the best players on the Italian U24 team, even though he doesn't play for La Fota, whereas some of his teammates do. He likes to play with the youth team. He likes to stay. So you say graduate to La Fota. Some of them actually prefer to keep playing with the Red Bulls. It's not so clear cut and dry like that. I think De Luca would easily have a spot on La Fota if he wanted to, but he likes to play with the young kids.
As Panzervolta's defense earlier in the point.
That could be the play that decides this game. If they can turn the tide here, sometimes it's a play like that that energizes your team, gets you going, and gets momentum in your favor. Red Bulls were struggling early on this game to get that going, but now in the driver's seat again, 6-5 as they're in the lead.
Yes, they have 2 breaks. Freespeed have 1 break. They started this game with a hold and a break to take a 2-0 lead, but gradually, oh so gradually, CUSB have shown their talent, shown their superiority.
And if CUSB can trade out this half, they'll get that mini break by the ones being the ones who started on D at the beginning of the game. They'll start on O, and they could go up by 2 points if they can score that, continue to trade out like that. So
sort of the no break.
Right.
2 points for free. You still have to hold against this fiery.
Yeah, free is
not hardly. You still have to hold your offense against this defensive line from Freespeed. Moser cuts free. Floats the disc down and forward. Was very low, but Muller getting down and then sends a big disc of his own. Bush the target, running free. What a disc that is! Incredible play from Kasper Muller. Completely denying the conservation of greatness theory there. Huge layout to keep the low disc off the floor. Stands up and puts it on an absolute dime for Nicholas Bush to run it down.
Nico Bush, such a good target. Already making a big name for himself in the stats sheet right now. But here, this is the play that you're talking about. I thought that was a turnover for sure, but he just grabs it off the grass right before it hits the blades.
Very close.
Gonna look at it again.
Super slow-mo. Yeah, still up.
Yeah, I think he hit his hand to it first. Did he grab it before it hit a blade of grass? That's a tough call.
The Ulti TV crew are calling it up.
And then the just dime of a throw to Bush. Great continuation cut off of that position that Muller was in.
Yeah, the heat of the day has died down. It's perfect conditions out here for Ultimate. The flags are hanging straight down, no wind at all. And it is a thrower's game out here. Almost indoor conditions, Ravi.
And that's good for the Red Bulls there. That's good for both these teams. Freespeed's a team that likes to throw a lot of upside-down passes. Red Bulls also has been known to throw a scuba or two in their day.
Felici kicking it off for Red Bulls, finds the disc on the far side of the field. Down the line, quick movement to Girotto. Girotto looks for a reset. Felici available. Swings it to the center of the field.
Call on the field.
Caracini. Caraceni. Cuts, trying to find a way through there. Brunelli. Fast disc down the line, just kept in bounds by Girotto. Reset to the center of the field. Caracchini floats it forward. It's brought down gracefully by Niccolo Felici, and they are still doing what they need to do here. Red Bulls are one off the half at 7-6.
It was a no pivot, high release backhand break into space. Quite a difficult throw to pull off. You can see here first the blade from Roger. I think the disc gets swung into the middle.
No pivot. Check. Well, a little bit of a pivot.
But he threw it kind of before his foot was even going, so it was like
getting enough of the body weight forward while still keeping the foot on the ground to get the shoulder low enough to get the hand out in front and throw that point. Who was the assist there?
Sorry, I wasn't looking at the numbers, looking at the throw again. But
just too busy admiring the action.
But something that's really impressed me with Bologna is a lot of people talk about their athleticism, about how fiery they are, but they are very good with the disc. Their disc skills are incredibly impressive. I talked to Sean Scone, Brummy. He's gone over to give clinics in Bologna. Davide invites him over to do some coaching over there, and he says that the U13 players that he sees over there, like some of the U13, U15 players, have better throws than a lot of the GB U20 players. Like they're starting so early at teaching them how to be so good with the disc. And he's like, I don't know how they get the skill taught that young, but they're really focusing on that early. And then by the time those guys are up there, 18, 19, 20, they become monsters because they build the athleticism behind that amazing skill. And it's just so much good work has been going into the Bologna youth. It's incredible.
Well, they have the high school championships at the end of each year, where all of the high schools that are in the Bologna area that have had anything to do with Ultimate will all get invited together for a big tournament. I think the attendance last year was 2,000 students. 2,000 or 3,000.
I've heard it rise to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. I've heard many. It's in the thousands somewhere.
6,000 students there every year. That number is sort of, I think it's a thing of legend now, isn't it? It's a lot of students anyway. Tom Stiles alongside Ravi Vasudevan here, enjoying this action from Freespeed and the Red Bulls from Bologna.
Yeah, but at that tournament, not all of them are real Ultimate players, but all of them are playing Ultimate. But I think they have, I could be wrong on this, so take it with a grain of salt, I think it was something like 800 literal registered Ultimate players in Bologna that are actually like registered in the Italian Federation as Frisbee players, play in the real league and play in the Italian competition.
That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a lot.
There's a few cities in the world that can claim an active ultimate population of that size. I think Vancouver.
A few cities outside the US and Canada.
Yeah, okay. yeah. There's a few cities in the USA.
Boston
Canada,
and Madison and San Francisco and Seattle probably have numbers like that, but you know.
Europe, we're learning. And we're doing pretty well.
I think Bologna has bigger numbers than London, if I'm correct on that. I think they are the hub. They are the biggest hub of Ultimate in terms of the city.
Yeah. They're all spraying around the insect repellent because the mosquitoes are about to make an appearance, I think. I left mine over here somewhere. I don't know where. Oh, God. There it is, the jungle formula. Let's get that stuff out.
Yeah, the mosquitoes, once they come out, they come out in full force.
I'm going to prepare in advance. There's some pretty toxic-looking mosquito bites.
You're getting eaten over there. I haven't had any bites yet. You see here the crazy dogs on the sideline playing with their bubbles. Yep. Can they keep it going? Oh, he lost it.
This is the content you came for, isn't it? This is why you bought that fancy subscription.
Hey, this one's free. This is on YouTube. Oh, yeah. You don't even have to buy the fancy subscription for this game, but
you still should.
Please do. Yes, exactly. Right now we got Krut Salispils going on the fancied exclusive field. I'm sure that one's a cracker. two of the top mixed teams.
Where's your money on that game?
Salaspils. I called Crit Salaspils to be in the final, crossing over, and I called Salaspils to win that one. Crit are missing 3 of their top players, and that's, I think, going to be the difference in this matchup.
Hand in the air, rising from Marco Della Vedova, who sends the big pull downfield. Hots catches, spins the disc quickly to the front of the end zone where Miglioretto awaits, quickly marked up by Della Vedova, who's run down there at pace. Hots gets it across to Moser. Moser looking deep, and just beyond the outstretched fingertips, just gets it to Muller.
Thought Panzavolta was going to make another defensive play for the Bulls.
Downfield, Moser's going to have to do some work with the legs to get this one. Lays it, doesn't quite get there. It would have been spectacular if he had.
So now Red Bulls the chance to take half 8-6 and get the disc after half.
Alessandro De Luca, 1 assist in this game already. The horns on the chest. Moser stopping that inside shot. Around break. Panzavolta with the disc now. What can he do with it? Has to get round Kasper Muller first. Gets the disc across. Far side of the field now. Oh, what a grab that is. High reaching Lorenzo Panzavolta. And the disc is going to have to come back. Having an incredible point out here.
Not sure what the call exactly was. Was it a pick call?
Hots taps it back in. It's with Martini. Now forward to Keeney. Keeney, it's a turnover. Freespeed. It's with Hots. It's a good cut across to Menzinger, but Moser is the target. Muller's cutting. Muller's now gone deep. He's threatened deep, but good defense. And a little bit of maybe a presence on the sideline, stopping that early pass.
I'm very impressed with the Red Bulls defense here. They're not giving Freespeed anything downfield. There was that gainer for Moser early, but since then it's been little passes.
Just taking that half a yard extra back and straight up force. Very effective. Bush to Hots. Hots just showing how his acceleration and his clinical movement. There's no wasted energy when he runs. No unnecessary fakes. Menzinger now to Bush. A big disc asked, almost bid on that, but Hots stays on his feet.
I was surprised there. I think if he just left a little bit, he could have caught that one.
Let's have a look on this replay again. He got very close. That was definitely needed bidding on. Maybe he's carrying an injury or something like that.
Well, you're that close to the camera, you got to do it anyways.
Just make the injury worse. A little bit of hustle bustle between Menzinger and his Italian rival Lorenzo Bam, and the two of them agree on where the stall count was as they go into a timeout here. 7-6, and slight advantage for the Red Bulls here, Ravi.
Yeah, slight advantage. They're still up a break, and they have the disc in hand. They look a little better, a little bit more fiery, but still, I mean, they had that little turnover from Cini earlier, but if they can clean things up and get this break, that puts them in a very advantageous position. They get offense in the second half. So as I kind of predicted, I think that the Red Bulls, with their additional players they got, a little bit a notch above Freespeed so far. You know, Freespeed started with an early break.
Moser streaking deep. Yeah, they could have scored this point, we forget already. It's been a couple of opportunities. So two turnovers to Freespeed, 1 to Red Bulls in this point. There's Hots not laying out. We're just getting on the old jungle formula there. It's strong stuff, and it needs to be. This is the maximum any destination up to 9 hours protection will slightly melt your skin, but will make it completely undelicious.
We've got Something number 4 there. I don't know what
insect repellent factor. That's the
never
IRF.
I've never even heard that
No.
before. I didn't know that was a measurement.
Mosquito repellent spray with 50% DEET and 1% geranol for maximum protection against little beasties.
Elsewhere in the pool, Clapham's now up 11-8 on Moira, so that's, yeah, as you said, maybe they let them play a little soft to begin, but they're not going to give a game up if they don't.
No, they're really not.
Flying Angels burn in forward are 10-10 right now, locked in. Tight matchup.
I imagine if you are Clapham and you've already won the pool and the game is completely irrelevant, it takes a little bit of like, oh, hang on a second, we do actually have to still play. Even the teams that aren't very good, this is Euro finals. Even the teams that aren't very good are still going to punish us if we don't show up. Well, back in this game, Red Bulls got the disc in hand. Getting it quickly to De Luca, out to the middle of the field, on the far side now. A crowd of Red Bull players hanging out right in front of where we're sitting, so you don't have a very good view of the far side of the field. Palm.
Another discussion. I have to say, this game has been riddled with long discussions. They need to really need to wrap that up a little bit, both teams.
Lorenzo Palm sends the disc back across and into the hands of Alessandro De Luca. Moser signals the disc is coming back in. Back in now. The way both of these teams are playing, there is a lot of contact on the mark, a lot of players running into each other. Chini gets it across to Panzavolta. It's been a very impressive contribution from him in this game. Another pick call.
Play continues.
De Luca. Floaty over the top. Marco Della Vedova brings it in for Red Bulls, and they take the half with a break. 8-6 they take the half, and they'll come out on offense in the second half as well. Brilliant performance from the team in White, Ravi.
Yeah, so Freespeed are going to have to break 3 times if they want to come back into this game, if that's assuming that Red Bulls don't get any breaks in the second half. So Red Bulls in a very advantageous position after starting a little shaky. That fire, that energy, that throwing ability, all that stuff out of the Bologna youth working out really well for Red Bulls right now.
We see they take in the end zone. You see how much they means it. Marco Della Vedova catching for that final point of the half. Myself and Ravi will just take a short. It's only 2-minute halves here, but we'll just going to take a breather and grab a drink, and we'll be back with you for the start of the second half.
We taking a full 10 minutes, 8 minutes? Sometimes I call him on my cell phone.
Welcome back to the second half of the European Ultimate Championship Finals men's division game between Freespeed and CUSB Bologna Red Bulls. And myself, Tom Stiles, alongside Ravi Vasudevan. It's been an exciting first half. Red Bulls just with the edge at the moment.
The edge, yeah, but significant edge as they are up 2 breaks and they will get to start this half on offense. So if they can score this one, they'll be up 3 points, which at this level is actually quite a hole for Freespeed to dig themselves out of. It's been a lot of great play, but I want to point out Lorenzo Panzavolta, who's making defensive contributions all day for the Red Bulls. One of the more impressive players so far in this game.
Yeah, his brother's on the team as well. I don't know if he's made as significant contribution, but a big shot straight downfield. Impressive grab. Marsagili. And that's a perfect start for the second half for the Red Bulls.
Yeah, 9-6 took advantage of starting on offense in the second half, and Freespeed put themselves deeper in the hole. They're going to have to clean up their offense, get a few breaks. They've not been able to break the Red Bulls since the second point of the game. First offensive try for the Red Bulls.
Let's see this contribution here from Girotto downfield to Roger, and Roger does what Roger does. Like you were talking about earlier, that Japanese style of deep shot doesn't sit and hang and wait for the defender to arrive. It's on pinpoint, up, down, no float on it at all, no air underneath the disc, just following a rail around the sky and into the hands of the receiver.
Roger is the type of thrower that can do both. He can put float when it's the right throw. He can put pinpoint when it's the right throw. He can do it all. He's very, very, very talented with the disc.
You sound like a fan.
I do like watching a little bit of Quentin Roger.
Quentin Roger. Oh, we've switched headphones, Ravi. Was that? That wasn't. That's better. We're back on the right side of the monitors now, I imagine. Moser sends the disc downfield for Freespeed. Nicholas Bush eating up the ground. He had to as well. There's going to be a fast arriving defender. Looking for an option in the end zone. Oh, a hand block had to be there. Harry Strobant just reaches out a big hand and blocks that pass. The cut from Menzinger was trying to get free, but it was the third or fourth attempt he'd done so. Big point in this game for Red Bulls now.
Bush was blocked by the boy from Bruges there. And Red Bulls with an opportunity to extend their lead even further.
High disc. Down to the hands of Gatti. Looking for the reset, but good positioning here from Bush. Float into nowhere in particular, and just a miscommunication there. No contact. And it's a turnover.
I'm not sure what the discussion is
here.
There's
no call here from the Italians. So it's going to be picked up quickly by Nico Muglieretto. Quick flick to Moser. Moser looks downfield and knives one himself. Bush underneath it, who rises, beautifully taken down by the 33 shirt. That's his second point of the game. He's had 2 assists as well. He's really packing up the points for Freespeed.
Yeah, Bush doing a bit of conservation of greatness the other way. He gets hand blocked, then makes a great. Usually you do the good play first, then the bad play, but he got hand blocked and then caught the big score. So it's probably the way Freespeed would rather have it go.
Doesn't cost them anything that way round. That's the sort of point, you know, on the scoreboard. It just looks like they traded it out, but that's an opportunity given up by Red Bulls. The Freespeed defense making them think twice and then a third time about every option they had, and eventually miscommunication and a throwaway. I think that was Nico Muglieretto with the assist.
Could have been. Freespeed looking better on offense now. We'll see, can they get a break? We've seen David Moser here go onto the D-line. They've realized they're in a hole. They got to change their lines up a little bit.
Big. You could hear the effort in the pull. The low sun coming across the fields here at the airport fields in Carole.
Freespeed coming out with a kind of wall zone here against the CUSB Red Bulls.
And what can Red Bulls do They've got the handling skill, but they need to keep the communication going. Girotto almost losing sight of that disc, came to him very quickly, perhaps a little off balance when he caught it. Getting that reset out to Carazzini. And back into the hands of Girotto. High release, rolling backhand with the left hand to Felici. And Brunelli. Cycling all the team through this handler space. And now, oh, that's a shot. Can he chase it down? Oh, he does chase it down. Brilliant disc to chase down all the way by Niccolo Felici. And the assist from Alberto Girotto, who was really dominating the handler position as well.
I'm not sure how much I like that defensive look. So what Freespeed did there, we're going to see here the Red Bulls offensive play.
He's signaling to get Roger out of the way there.
What Freespeed did here is they came out in a zone for like 3 or 4 passes and then went into person-to-person defense. Now, I understand you wanting to do that if you're playing against a team who relies off of pull plays, relies off of like a couple passes into a big huck or something like that, and you want to stop that then with some quick zone look. But that's not what Red Bulls have been doing so far this game. They generally don't score that quickly. They move things around, figure it out, and then eventually score. And if you play that zone first, then go into person-to-person, you don't get to choose your matchups because it's going to be kind of shifted around. So I'm not sure exactly what the advantage Freespeed was looking for with that look. And it didn't work out this time.
No, and you think with the athleticism that Red Bulls have got, you know, this stage of the game, maybe getting a little bit weary, maybe Freespeed don't quite have what it's going to take to stay on the shoulder all the way through a long point.
We see Mike Lovisa there with the pole coming back out after his injury in the first half, so good to see him back on the field.
Moser to Hotz. Miglioretto, Luca Miglioretto looking for something from Hotz. Eventually a contact call made. Lorenzo Gatti a little bit too close to Hotz. The two of them having a conversation about what's appropriate. He has got
a little bit of a wrap there.
A little bit of wrapping. So your force has to be flat, both arms in a straight line. Contact made. Could have made a contact foul. Maybe he had made a contact foul. We don't see it from here.
I saw the foul called coming out of there, so I think he did call foul instead of contact.
Hotz. Miglioretto down the line to Moser. Moser's got Bush available in the end zone, but takes that reset instead to Elminger. Back to Moser again. Miglioretto signaling to this near side. Elminger looking for a reset. CUSB have stopped Freespeed's flow, and here goes the disc deep into the end zone. Moser's underneath it, but so's the pressure from the Italian. The two of them making a bit of contact on the way in, but no doubt about who received it. Alessandro De Luca could not stop it. Moser with the score.
Saw very early in the game, if you remember, the De Luca-Moser matchup. De Luca getting the D over him. This time, Moser getting the better of De Luca. They've been playing against each other all game, I think trading a few wins and losses on that matchup. Nice one to see, the youth against the older generation, and awesome to see Moser able to get free on a player like De Luca.
Yeah,
stuff.
His positioning was really clever. Could see where the disc was going to be, could see where the threat was going to come from, and just angled his body, angled his run to take that option away from De Luca. The contact came because of the smart positioning of Moser.
Getting closer to the end of this game, getting closer to the end of this day. At the end of this game, this round, we'll have all the men's pool play finished up, so we'll have the bracket set to start with pre-quarters, quarters, and semis tomorrow. So some teams, the top 16 will be still in contention. The rest will be playing for the bottom part of the tournament.
So the teams trading out this second half so far, just one turnover each, and it's 10-8. Red Bulls taking that two-break advantage from the first half into the second half action. Flips the disc over to Carazzini. Brunelli on the far side. Clever disc through the gap to Felici. It's really good stuff from Red Bulls. Felici again. Down the line. Girotto. Just waited, positioned himself. Roger catches, floats it forward, front of the end zone. And no problem at all for Red Bulls. Both these teams unable to get the defense really clicking so far.
It was great offense from the Red Bulls from start to finish. Always hitting easy spots, winning with their legs, not using as much of their throwing prowess in this point, but showing that they have the athletic advantage over Freespeed and using that to great effect.
Marsigili. Marsigli. Leonardo Marsigli with his second point of the game there.
It's Masigi. I think you don't even say the
you
G.
You don't pronounce the G, do you?
No, it's like a Y. It's like a Y kind of. Masigi.
Masigi. Masili. Huh. We'll master the 17 different dialects and pronunciations we need to know.
A lot of different countries here at EUCF.
We were caught off guard by some of the Irish pronunciations this morning. One of our writers on the Ulti-World European crew, Scythe Long from Ireland, but you look at that name, it doesn't say Scythe to anybody, apart from if you speak Gaelic, obviously Irish Gaelic.
So 11-8, CUSB Red Bull still holding on to that 2-break lead that turned into the mini 3-break lead, but starting on offense second half, and they'll be happy to trade out the rest of this game.
Yeah, Lavisa with the big pull, just floats out of bounds on the far side. Freespeed will be grateful to receive that brick point advantage. Disc lands out of bounds. Players bringing it up to the brick mark. Hotz. Quickly moving it to Elminger. Back to Hotz. Pivots, drops a shoulder. Manzinger, big signal from Moses, is running into the end zone. Elminger, forward again. This time, Nico Miglioretto. Moser just marches forward and takes it in stride, dominating that deep space and making himself available numerous times. Knew one of the options would come good, and he was right.
So just looking at some results elsewhere in the tournament. Salisbury's did beat Krut already. That game's 15-7. The Latvians dominating the young Dutch, so making a statement. Making a statement. Also elsewhere, maybe surprising to some, Aupuk is up 12-9 against Smog. I think that's the field right behind us. You can see over there the Parisians, who some called to be last place this tournament, maybe, beating...
was that you?
I don't know. It's impossible to confirm. And Smog not having the best. They lost to Flow already once, and if they lose to Aupuk, they'll pretty much take them out of semis contention, which is good for me because Liam picked them to make sense. So that part's good.
Yeah. Well, you know, the European Ultimate Championship Finals is about a lot of different things for a lot of different people, but mainly it's about the picks contest on the Eurozone podcast.
That's mostly what it's about. I think that's what they designed all this for that, right?
I think they pretty much put it together for your benefit, yeah. And, you know, and for those of us that like to play along at home, Ravi.
Yeah, we did put together the picks contest for the public in the EUC. We didn't manage to do it for the EUCF. We'll try and get that happening a bit more frequently. It's always fun to see what the audience picks. There's always a couple that pick better than us, so.
So a little knock forward there. The roll eventually stopped. It was totally accidental. Roger with the scuba into the end zone. Muller's underneath it, but taking it high. Brilliant grab from Alberto Girotto, looking for a pass into the end zone. What can he find? Finds a reset back. Caracini, low release, and gets it in, and a pick is called. A few unhappy faces on the Red Bulls there, but very free. The call came very early. You can kind of see the point there, the positioning.
It's always really tough, though, because it still was break sides. The question is, would that not have been complete? But he definitely would have been closer and could have put some pressure on it.
Federico Carasini. Caraseni. There's an E, not an I. Do you reckon Caraseni?
Caraceni.
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 Caraceni finds the gap through the middle, blasts it through with a little bit of spice on top. Vasili catches, and that is his 3rd point of the game.
Freespeed really not finding a way to slow down the Red Bulls. Again, they haven't been broken since that 2nd point of the game when Freespeed went up 2-0. And the more and more this game goes on, the more comfortable the Red Bulls offense looks. It's not like Freespeed are finding ways to challenge them. They're getting more confident. They're getting more, you know, in a positive vibe. They have the lead. They know they can just play kind of easy, relaxed. They're not under pressure. Freespeed, on the other hand, are in a situation where they have the pressure on them. They got to come back. They got to get their holds, but then they got to get on a break train. And you can see, okay, there was a little bit of pressure on that grab by Giotto.
But not enough, you know.
Not enough, yeah.
No, this Bologna team are so good in the air. They're so athletic. They don't seem to run out of energy in the same way that Freespeed are looking a little weary out there.
Except for Moser.
Apart from Moser, but he's actually made of metal, so. Metal and springs.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. On the right-hand side of your picture of Freespeed there with his hand in the air, David Moser, the 77 shirt. Had a strong performance in this game.
Freespeed coming out in a split stack, trying to isolate the Miglioretto.
Miglioretto sends it deep beautifully. Red, but just not quite enough speed and acceleration from Nico Miglioretto.
That's 1 for 1, I think. Nico overthrew Luca one time earlier this game, and Luca overthrew Nico, so have a lot to talk about at the family reunion later.
Do you think they talk about anything else?
I don't, probably not.
You can see the fields laid out here in Carole. A long, high stall count, but the disc is bust downfield and chased down by Panzervolta. Swing pass across the field, Toscani. Low release from Toscani is nice. And on the far wing, looking for an option. Low disc, it's caught as it's signaled up.
Some conversation. Also seemed pretty free, so maybe there was a pick on the throw.
See that disc.
There's no way for us to see if that was up or not. I think it was up, but I think it's being called back on a pick.
Taps back in. Red Bulls still with the advantage. They have a 3-point advantage. Disc in hand on. Some heroic efforts from the player. Lorenzo Gatti slides on the chest after taking a chest-high disc with one hand. Call back.
There is a discussion going on.
Oh, travel? Let's have a look at this grab. That's textbook stuff. Great camera work as well from Will Foster on our pitch side camera for Ulti TV. Red Bulls looking for an option forward, nearly into the end zone. The space at the back, the man signaling on the back corner. That must mean there's an extra poach somewhere. But eventually they come good, running free at the front corner. Was it Lorenzo Palm?
I think it was, and that's a 13-9 lead. The Red Bulls get another break and extend it. Freespeed really in a bad spot right now. I do have to wonder if Peter Jan de Molenaar did not get injured earlier on, if they would have had a better chance. He was the one who generated the D on that first point that got them the break. And I think he adds a lot to that aspect of the game that they are lacking right now.
Yeah, they really struggled to get turnovers. I mean, we have the stats. Should we look at the stats? Let's look at the stats. Let's have a look at that assist first, though. Just drops the shoulder. That option to the hammer to the back corner looked like a favourite option for me. But then just losing the player. I think it was the 16 shirt of Paolo Martini. We find Lorenzo Palm free in the end zone. So stats for this game, the Red Bull O-line have only turned over once, and yeah, that was the PJ's D. So, and the D-line have turned over 6 times. So Freespeed have done well at getting it back, but Freespeed's O-line have turned over 10 times, and there's the difference.
1 in 10, yeah, that's a bit of a difference.
Yeah. So the conversion rate for their O-line is 90%. The conversion rate for Freespeed's O-line is 41%. 5 from 12 possessions.
Those are
damning. That's a damning
those
indictment.
Those are the same numbers you want. I mean, the 90 is pretty good. The other one, ouch town.
Well, so that's perfect conversions. That's putting it in without a turn. Putting it in with a turn, 66% versus the 90. So. Yeah. I think Red Bulls have got this from here.
Yeah, I mean, if they've turned it over once, chances are they're not going to do it too many more times. Maybe one more in the next couple points, but they only have to get 2 holds. That's if their D-line doesn't break again. The D-line's gotten a few of those throughout this game. So.
Yeah, they really have. But a very good observation there, Ravi, that without PJ, they just don't seem to have the ability to get the disc from the Red Bulls.
Not from the O-line, at least.
Not from the O-line.
Yeah. We see Ted Bauta, one of the EUF board members. His frosted blonde hair.
Disc comes angling in, just bounces off the turf and into the hands of the Freespeed handling line. Gets it down to Moser. So Muller slowed the cut and then had to re-accelerate as the disc went to him anyway. Moser sends it flat and level, but well-adjusted cut from Odermatt. Just flings it back to Bush. Odermatt available, one of the youngsters for Freespeed. Big fake. Gets it to Hotz. Intelligent cut from Hotz. He's going to beat almost any player in the division over the first 10 yards. That makes him perfect in this position. Kasper Muller looks into the end zone. Moser, whoa, diving ahead of Moser, and just gets horsed by Moser as the Italian tried to stand up. He got the best part of Moser's groin.
Not happy about that, but Alessandro De Luca, we talked about this matchup that was going on all day.
What a take that is.
That's incredible stuff from the young Italian.
Moser's just trying to avoid him, but it actually looked like it just jumped on his head. Anyway, back in the game. De Luca. Della Dova swings back across to Palm. Palm down to Stroband. Stroband continues back to Palm. There's a deep shot available. That's a bit of cheeky contact from Nico Bush, just to take away the flow. Not called.
What a phenomenal around pass there from De Luca.
Della Dova into the end zone. Strong start from Red Bulls. And they two teams who looked so close for a big part of this game are now looking like they're playing a completely different sport. Red Bulls finding that extra gear and just accelerating away.
That low release pass from De Luca, he made the huge defensive play, the huge pass to open up the score. Did it great for the Italian U24, and now he's doing it great for the Red Bulls. 14-9 over this Freespeed team. That's an amazing scoreline for the young guys from Bologna.
Yeah, that takedown in the end zone. We see that almost turnover when Kasper Muller slowed down. That's that low release. Beautiful disc, wasn't it? All the way around. Creates all the space. Della Dova just has to put it into the area. And Riccardo Monti takes his first point of the game.
Also a great disc from Della Dova, who had a couple turnovers earlier in the game. I think we mentioned his name on the negative side, so we should shout him out when he puts a nice put into the end zone as well. 14-9, Red Bulls 1 point away. I mean, I think this one's pretty much wrapped up. I don't see Freespeed getting,
nope.
Maybe they'll get a hold, but getting 5 breaks in a row after that. I mean, I've seen crazier things in my watching Ultimate career, but the way Red Bulls are playing right now, And the way Freespeed's not able to get the disc off their O-line, it'd be pretty tough.
Well, the confidence, the body language from Red Bulls is just dominant. They look like these sort of young bucks strutting around the Frisbee field with all the confidence and the ability in the world, and justifiably so just looking at the way they've played this game. That self-belief that they have in spades. Miglioretto looking deep, and straight away Nico Bush just turns and goes deep and finds a floating disc awaiting for him. That one-pass score that Freespeed can do so well.
It's almost like the Red Bulls kind of gave him that one. I think they were saying, let's not play D, we just get it back. We have 5 chances to score this offensive point. I don't know if that's exactly the mentality going on there, but Bush was just completely free. One-pass score from Luca.
If we get a chance to see for the replay from that wide shot, just watch Nico Bush's cut. He cuts underneath for one step and then immediately changes direction and goes deep. So, Red Bulls on the doorstep of a win. That remind us that would leave them in second place in this pool behind Clapham?
Yes. So that puts them definitely into contention for in the bracket. Let's see, they would be B pool seed 2, so I'm going to try and figure out where that puts them in the bracket. It's against F1, which is probably going to be Chevron Action Flash, so that'll put Red Bulls against Chevron Action Flash in the pre-quarter coming up tomorrow.
That'll be a good game. Do we get to choose our selections for the stream tomorrow, Ravi? We're going to have a conversation about that later.
Yeah, we'll have a conversation about that. I think there is some pre-selected to make it the most likely that teams don't get repeated, but Audi gave us the right to, if there's some really good matchups, we might be able to change things up a little bit. We'll see.
We'll see.
We're going to have some great games regardless.
Yeah, I think there's just a stack of games over this European Ultimate Championship final weekend. Coming to you from the Italian Carole Airport Fields, just down the coast from Venice. The gathering dusk starts to envelop the fields. The Red Bulls marching slowly towards the Freespeed end zone and slowly towards an emphatic victory here in this game. Their O-line have only had 1 turnover the whole game. Quick snatch out of the air by Quentin Roger, sends a scuba across the sky to the break side, and waiting for it is Leonardo Masili to bring it home for Red Bulls. The emphatic 15-10 win. Roger with the scuba. He's been classy with the disc all day, but it's been a team performance from the team in white.
You say team performance, but Quentin Roger and Leonardo Masili both notch their 5th stat on the board. That's 4 goals for Leonardo Masili and 1 assist, and Quentin Roger has it the other way around. So those are 2 of the leaders on this team on the offensive line. But yes, rest of that spread out amazingly. The D-line doing lots of good work. They were just contributing a lot on the O. Great performance by the young Bolognians, and excited to see how far they can go. They got 10th last year, and they're looking to do better than that this year. By the way they're playing now, I believe it.
Yeah, it's hard to see how teams are going to come and really shake up that O-line. On defense, they looked fallible. They were getting some joy, but look at the confidence in that throw from Roger. Saw the space, and he just rips his shoulder out of its socket, throwing the big scuba across the field. It's gone 35 yards onto an absolute pinpoint on the far side of the zone. Brilliant play from them, and a brilliant day of Ultimate, Ravi. Red Bulls and Freespeed wrapping up with a victory for Bologna. More action to look forward to tomorrow, though.
Yeah, and I'm excited. Freespeed, I think they should be okay because I think they were the 2 seed in their pool. So they should be safe to qualify for the bracket, but you never know. When you get 3rd place, you have to be one of the top 4 seeded 3rd place teams. It's a really weird format we have with 24 teams here. So they could be out of contention. They could still be alive, but Red Bulls have secured themselves a spot in pre-quarters tomorrow, probably against Clapham. Probably against Chevron. But yeah, that's going to do it here for today.
Yeah, so men's pre-quarters 8:30 tomorrow morning local time. That's 7:30 UK time. And then we have Grut versus Smog at 10, and Flow versus Salaspils. Both look to be really, really good games as well. Men's quarterfinals, women's pool games from Yaka and Brilliance, Iceni and Ghent, and then men's semis, mixed semis. It's going to be all action all the way through tomorrow. So do tune in on Fancy on YouTube. But for today, for the Ulti TV crew, from myself, Tom Stiles, and Ravi Vasudevan, thank you very much for joining us, and do join for more Ultimate action from the European Ultimate Championship finals tomorrow.
Everybody's going wild at this crazy new dance style. Throw your hands up and put your laughing face. Put your heart in the hands of the new Nazi Western state. I don't know who I am. Who I am, I don't know. Who I am, I don't know. Who I Everybody's got a child. Every child running wild. Take a pill and try to escape. Try to float out of here and try to drift into space. I don't know who I am. Who I am, I don't know. Who I am, I don't know. Who I am. I should have gone away, but I do not know where you're going. No, I don't. No, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am.
Ulti.tv